28 goals were scored in last night's Champions League, and a quarter of those goals came from Bayern, as they went 7-up against a Spurs side notorious for bottling it. How good was that?
Well played. I like
7-up in a bottle.
Yeah.
It's all good though, it's all good.
If you enjoy this podcast, support us with a subscription, and don't forget to check out our other platforms. The link for those is in the description. But without further ado, let's talk ball. Welcome back to Season 2, Episode 15 of the Let's Talk Ball podcast. I'm Samuel Slaney, and I'm joined with Connor Ward, John Lomas, and a special guest, you may remember him from Season 1, Ahmed Hussain.
Oh, special guest, thank you for that. Founder member of this podcast, but you know what, I feel so happy being back, I'm not gonna lie.
I know.
Feels like a very, very long time. How long has it been? About, 6 or 7 months?
A year.
As if it's been a year.
We did 3 episodes in a year.
Just 3 episodes? I saw we've done a little bit more than that.
3. They were an hour each, but...
Bloody hell.
I know. So I said it in the intro. 28 goals were scored, and Bayern scored a quarter of those against Spurs. But what did you guys make of last night?
This is the beginning of the end for Spurs, I think.
Do you think?
Tip of the iceberg, especially after going out to Colchester last week as well.
You scored for PSG?
You can't be conceding, 7 goals at home. I don't care who you're playing. That's just
they
not
gave
good.
up, didn't they?
That's not good enough. Especially, Oreo gave up. They were moaning about Trippier. He was there.
What do you think's gone wrong for Spurs, though? Realistically,
I think he's gone stale. That's what I think.
I'm sorry, but with Pochettino, like you were saying, that he's another favourite to probably be sacked. Regardless of whether it's going on right now, he has done so much for Spurs.
But do you think that's right, that he should be favourite to be sacked?
No.
I think
he should stick with him.
They're only going through a bad sort of period at the moment. I reckon they'll catch up later in the season, my opinion. It's not going to be...
We're at a difficult stage, aren't we? Because I remember you said last week you don't think Spurs will be a top 6 side without Pochettino.
If Poch left, they'll be outside the top 6.
Where do you stand on that?
They'll go mid-table again like they were before.
Personally, with Pochettino there, they will still be up there, top 4. But if Pochettino isn't there, who would they sign as a manager? Do
you think they still make top
Howe.
6?
Alan Pardew.
Eddie
but
Howe,
that's what I mean though. Eddie Howe, Alan Pardew, come on, this is Spurs. I don't know if they want to have those sort of managers.
But you just said that about Pochettino though. He was Southampton before.
Yeah, but he was Southampton before. But for Spurs, he's got him into a final. He's got him contending for the title for a few seasons.
I think he's taken them as far as he can, and I think he'll walk and go to Madrid.
Yeah,
he should have walked at the end of last season.
Pochettino can easily go to another club and probably be a great manager there. Maybe his time may be up at Spurs.
I think you're looking at Real Madrid, the next destination.
I think Real Madrid, yeah.
It's because possible. Zidane isn't getting the results. 2-2 against Club Brugge.
He'll be sacked. You know how
it's
ridiculously
possible.
ruthless they are.
But with what Pochettino's done for Spurs, I don't know if it's fair for them to just sack him on the spot like that.
It'd be ridiculous if they sacked him, but I think that's what they might do.
But I think clubs nowadays make stupid decisions. Look at Watford.
Yeah, but it's true. But the stability and stuff for Spurs, it's all been because of Poch. Well, so far, anyways. So my personal opinion with Spurs is at the moment is the fact that they need to buy more bigger players. They've got a good British core, which is fair enough. Majority of that team that are British, or an England team, all-star lineup, but they haven't got their sort of players that sort of
those standout ones.
You know what I mean?
So don't Liverpool though.
But they have really, because they've got Son, haven't they? Eriksen, Kane.
Why would you
they
say
have got some standouts.
Why would you say that Liverpool?
When you signed those players like Salah and Mane and stuff, they were not world class players.
All right, Mane,
that's a shout.
No, that's fair. But look at where they are now, though. They are up there.
And is that because of Liverpool, or is that because of Klopp?
That's because they've been trained up well. It's not because they signed they don't need to necessarily sign superstars. That's not really. I always thought Liverpool's weakness is that they didn't sign superstars, but I've been proven wrong. They've got a good, solid team.
In my personal...
and that's what Spurs are doing. But they've hit. It seems like they've hit their limit, and I don't know.
Because my personal opinion that is that for example, Van Dijk was the most in demand defender on the Prem.
He wasn't world class though. when
At
he
the
came to
time, yeah, I'll
Liverpool.
agree with you. You would not class him as world class, but like he got that level.
I love this content.
Salah is probably one of the best, in Europe. Like he was like up there, one of the best players.
He
in
was a
Europe.
good player. He was a very
Like,
good player.
not
one of the
Where
best
would you
players
rank
in
him
the
now,
world.
though, this season?
This season
In the world?
In the world, he's still up there.
He's top 5 anyway,
Still
isn't he?
at least
That's
top 5,
standard.
top
I
10.
think he's overrated on his day. I think he misses.
I mean,
a
I
lot.
was saying to you though.
I
like,
understand that.
to get
Away
right.
from home, his record's quite trashy this season.
No, I was saying to you though, like at the moment, like if you say like Mane or Salah, like if you look at stats, Mane's probably the better player. If you look at stats, but in terms of contribution,
But
both of them are just as
The
equal.
point I'm making is that
love this.
when you signed those players, they were not superstars. They were not world class players. You signed players from the kind of lower
It's a shout.
lower end
It is a
table
shout.
Yeah,
and
right.
built them up. Andy Robertson. Wasn't
Yeah,
a
Andy
world-class
Robertson
player.
is that's fair. But like with Spurs though, like
I don't think it's necessarily they need to sign superstars. I just think
I feel like
I think
do.
they need more depth as well.
Because for example with like Liverpool, maybe you say that, but look at like players like Naby Keita and Fabinho.
Not world class players.
Not world
when
class,
when
but they are
came.
like the most in-demand players in Europe that they have signed.
I don't know. Were they really?
Yes, they were. Keita was wanted by Barcelona and Madrid, Bayern Munich as well. Fabinho also was wanted by like teams
And
like
he's
Madrid.
probably one of the players that hasn't worked out that well.
Yeah, it's true. Don't give me that. But these are the sort of players that they have been signing, and they have been, it's been sort of helping them with the depth and stuff like that. With Spurs, like, they've got the good British core, fair enough, but they need to probably get those more
They need depth.
in-demand players and stuff, the ones that everyone else is trying to go for.
This is what we've been missing.
It's
I'm
smashing.
serious, this is what we've been missing.
But who would
This is
you
amazing.
say Spurs should go for?
Who would I say?
I mean, should they have gone for Dybala?
They
Dybala,
did.
Do you,
Yeah,
think, do you think they
Dybala.
really were in for him?
Legit.
But did
Dybala would be
Spurs
sick.
did Spurs need him? Like you look at where it's going wrong.
No,
for
they
Spurs,
didn't really.
And is it the forward line that's going wrong? I think
No,
it's defensively
it is
and in
defence.
midfield, and especially the fullbacks.
All right, Koulibaly.
Yeah, maybe. Good
He
sign.
was linked with us, to be fair.
He's
Imagine.
been linked to everybody, but like, Koulibaly for Spurs, if they bring him in, then that'd be good because
It'd work out that would.
Vertonghen and Alderweireld.
But you look at him, he is aging. do they need-
He's not that old though.
He's
not that old.
29.
That's not that old. 29.
He's got a few seasons at the top level,
Like,
but should they be looking at more youthful signings
yeah,
and
they
building
should.
up from
yeah,
there?
They should.
Maybe youthful signings, but like if you just want to be on that level, then probably sign him because for example, like Ramos has been in Madrid for ages. Look how old he is. He's still up there. He's one of the best in the world. How old is he
wouldn't
now?
say
I don't know. He got
Koulibaly's
taught
as
a
good
lesson
as
by
Ramos,
Dennis.
though.
By Dennis last
33,
night.
34. I'm not saying it's just as good, but I'm just saying he's still got some years in him. And he's not that young himself. If Koulibaly gets signed up for Spurs, they can probably
They've
have
got
about
a
4 or
wage
5
bracket
seasons.
those Spurs have. That's the problem.
Yeah, maybe it is the case, but they need to just find a way to.
And that's the balance you've got to hit. So like you look at Man United. Man United are going with that mentality
even
of
talk about
we'll
us.
sign superstars and we'll sign big names.
Wage
And
structure.
we don't really
What's
care.
that?
What
And
are you talking about,
we don't
Man
care.
United?
We don't
Doesn't
care
work
about.
well. Doesn't work well.
We don't care about the wage structure, and we don't
Ed
care about
Woodward
the age.
scratching
And
his
it's
head
not
going,
working.
what's a wage structure?
So you need to get
What's
the
that?
balance right. Spurs just need depth. That's what
It
they
says a
need.
lot, the wage
They haven't
structure
got
does.
anything on the bench.
You look at
You say
Liverpool.
that with balance though. Like the balance, though, in my opinion, are right. The balance is good. If you look at the starting lineup, it's decent.
What,
It's
Spurs?
true. Yeah.
I
But
agree.
maybe depth-wise, yeah, it's true. They
It's
haven't got no
depth.
depth.
That's the problem.
But I'm
It's
just
another
saying,
one, isn't it? It's on paper. You look at Aurier.
And a lot of players are underperforming. Like Dele Alli's been underperforming for ages.
Well, it's obvious that was before him. Look at the results.
He's the
last
next
night.
Lingard, he is.
Yeah.
He's the next
What you
Lingard.
saying?
Lingard's only young though.
He's not.
He
He's
is,
not.
isn't he?
He's
27.
only young, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
He's been young for a good 5 or 6 years.
He's
what are you on
upcoming.
about?
He's a prospect. He's a prospect.
But like I said, I think Dele Alli's been poor for ages.
Yeah,
I
he
really
has.
think he has. Like since he had that season when it was him and Kane, then they were when Spurs were at their peak. That I just think they've hit a bit of a ceiling. I think that's what it is.
But we knew this was coming as well. We really did
I
because
think they've just hit the limit. That's what it is.
we knew it was coming though
They didn't
because
get onto
this
that
was
next
like their
level.
generation. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean with the players that they had when Kane weren't as good as he is now?
That's the thing with Spurs as well. Like you can agree, like the players that they've had in their team right now, like they've been playing for them for like 5 or 6, 7 seasons.
Yeah,
You know?
they've been like this promising team
And
for the last
someone
few
to leave as
seasons
well.
now. What have they got to show for it?
It's like
they've got
with,
nothing to show for it.
You
No
put
trophies,
pressure on
nothing.
them.
You know,
Someone
like
to
They've
leave
got
as
the
well.
Audi Cup to show for it, a pre-season
But
tournament.
Yeah.
there's someone to leave now as well. Like it's not helping. Ericsson's
Something
clearly
needs to
not.
freshen up.
Ericsson's been crap all
He's
season.
been
I'm
linked with
surprised
United.
And-
that he stayed during the summer. Ericsson. I thought he was going to leave like somewhere.
He's been linked with Madrid and United.
Yeah, you think that he was going to probably go like even Barcelona was like linked to. You think he would have gone there like somewhere, but Didn't happen. But like, yeah, like with Dortmund a few years ago, like when Klopp was with them, they had the same team for a good like 2, 4, 3 seasons, and they were amazing. When Klopp left, like they still had the same team, but it wasn't as good as it
didn't
was.
form.
apart.
Because it's
Fell
like
Well, you
apart
could
when
say that
Klopp
about
was there.
United then with Moyes. When Moyes took over, that was a very similar team,
It's similar,
bar the acquisition of
because
Fellaini.
it's the same sort of players
I think
for
it's
God
different
knows how
with
long.
Spurs, though.
It's true though, it's stale. Like if it's the same team for God knows how long, and not that many signings have been brought into the squad. Because of that, the team's stale, and there's only so much you can do with that.
It's
sort of
also not just the staleness; it's other teams have simply overtaken them as well.
And we've talked about this as well.
This is what it is. People have come by and overtaken. Liverpool have overtaken.
But you
Man
look at
City have
Leicester
overtaken.
even.
Leicester are
They're
starting
coming.
to overtake.
They're up and coming.
With Brendan Rodgers as well, he's got the experience for Liverpool, so that's why
This has
he's
been going
working
round
with
on Twitter.
Chelsea, even with these young lot, are overtaking.
Somebody
Spurs.
said, I don't
Yeah.
think Brendan Rodgers is being appreciated enough because have Leicester got a better manager than Arsenal, United, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern?
I mean, put it this way with Brendan Rodgers. I mean, it's like a love-hate sort of relationship with Brendan Rodgers to Liverpool. I mean, for example, we all love the fact that he had that title challenge, but at the same time,
Well, he was so close.
Suarez,
If that had gone another way,
way,
you'd be looking at him saying, "Yeah, he's a legend."
Yeah, I think Rodgers.
If it happened, yeah.
I think Rodgers is the right level though at Leicester. I think he's hit.
Yeah,
his,
that
I think
is his
he's
level.
hit. I think he's hit his level at that. They're kind of like a team that. Well, it looks like they could be challenging for the Champions League, but it is early days. But I think their expectation would be kind of high mid-table, 7th, 8th, and I think that's his level. Kind of like Hodgson was at Fulham. I think he's hit that kind of his level there. But I think Liverpool was too much of a step up.
That's the thing though with Brendan Rodgers, because like you talk about the pool of the sort of players that were signed at Liverpool during that time. Brendan Rodgers, the players there in Liverpool sort of standards, you wouldn't really say
Yeah,
they're
they weren't
amazing.
Liverpool standard.
Before Leicester, they're decent players. You know what I mean? It's that sort of level. It's not like top 4 level, but it's outside like maybe top 6 or 7
exactly.
level.
That's why Leicester's his level, I think.
Yeah,
I think it's working.
And with like Brendan Rodgers as well, is like say what we wouldn't say again about him, but like look at what he's won at Celtic and look at what he won at Swansea. He's won some stuff.
It was a good move for him.
Yeah,
Celtic.
it's good for him, and like at Celtic, like he
Come
won
on,
like
though,
undefeated.
They've got to
and
win
shit.
everything there, though. I mean, I
Yeah.
get he's broken records
think
and
it
won
was
everything, but like, come on.
Just that. It was an opportunity for more experience, wasn't it?
I think it was.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
Out of the limelight a
I
little
think
bit.
it was. I think it was recuperating from the
That's
Liverpool job.
the exact word,
And
recuperation.
it was
yeah.
for him though, it's the perfect team to do it with
Yeah,
because
Support.
almost
It's true.
guaranteed to win.
yeah, it's true.
Have a little push in Europe,
Celtic is Celtic,
which he didn't do very well in. To be
It's
fair.
true, but Celtic is Celtic at the end of the day, yeah, but then at the same time, he got into the Champions League more like consistently than Europa League, and he won so much stuff with them, so many trophies. Yeah, it's crap. Don't get me wrong, like the whole Scottish League in general is crap. I mean,
it
Celtic,
made Scott Sinclair look like Neymar.
Exactly. I mean,
He really did.
the thing is like Celtic themselves as a team are not exactly that great, but then in like the Scottish League, they look miles ahead of everyone else.
I love the fact that you've said this because I think this is an ongoing debate over the years as well. If Celtic were able to come into the Premier League, many Celtic fans think they get top 10
Relegated.
pretty easily. Do you think
Relegated.
they'd be relegated?
Relegated easily. Their championship mid-table.
With their current squad, yeah, but like if you give that club the size of that club with the the Premier League investment they could.
Yeah, with the
turn into
money.
a big club.
Yeah, so
With
say
the
they got
money, they'll
equal
do it.
money as well.
I mean, they get 60,000 gates.
Because at the end of the day, Celtic, they do have history. They have
It's a
been up
massive
there.
club.
Great players like past
I
and
mean,
present.
technically, they could actually come into the Premier League.
Put it
Look at
this way.
Swansea.
Put it this way, right? I might be biased, but
Historical,
like
that was.
I might be biased, but like Virgil van Dijk, best defender in the world, as everyone's saying at the moment,
Probably is. though,
came
yeah.
came from Celtic.
Yeah.
So like they've got some notable players there in the past. So maybe with the money, with like the history they got, they could become maybe in that sort of sense top 10 side. But with the team they got now, put that in the Prem, no way they can compete in there.
So we talked about Tottenham getting smashed by Bayern.
I think we haven't talked about how good Bayern were.
Yeah, we haven't. And you were saying before this, Lewandowski, you're very impressed with him.
I think.
31 years of age and still
he's
smashing in the goals.
Top-notch striker. I mean, like he's probably going to have a 4th consecutive season of getting 40+ goals in all competitions.
It's looking that way, yeah. He's
that
scored
is-
every single game in the Bundesliga
I mean, that is
so
just
far.
crazy numbers. He's such a good striker, and Gnabry's brilliant as well.
Do you think
and
Madrid are
Perisic,
kicking
Koeman.
themselves for not getting him?
Well,
That's been a rumour
Not
for
getting
2 or
who
3.
you're saying.
Lewandowski.
I mean, they've been kicking themselves for ages. They're always been trying to go for Lewandowski, but he just wants to stay at Bayern.
He wanted the move as well. He even switched agents
Oh
to
yeah,
try
I
and make it
remember
happen.
that. Yeah, forgot about that. Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't know what happened there.
There's
Like,
no chance of him moving now, though. I really don't think so because he's signed hasn't he signed a 4-year contract, something like that?
And he's in good form as well. Like, I don't know, man. Like,
Yeah,
does he wanna leave?
he's set now. He's 31. He's got a few more seasons at that level.
Could win the Champions
You
League.
say
with
that
Bayern.
though.
He could do.
They,
he really
they
could.
could easily win that.
Like you said, it's an open.
You
open
think
tournament
about
this
it,
year.
scoring 7. I get, they were the Champions League finalists, and I get maybe it was a bit of a fluke, but still to go away to that ground and get 7 goals, it's a statement of intent.
And it was Gnabry, wasn't it? The former Arsenal player
Of course,
who
he's the Arsenal
punished
player.
them. What a game he
Nah,
had.
I was gonna say quickly though, like that you say that he might be set in like Bayern Munich. Don't forget though, like not saying he was on his level though, but Ronaldo, how old was he when he was at Madrid? And he
Yeah.
still went to Juve, and look what happened there.
Yeah, I get the point. Yeah.
So you never know.
you don't have to just settle. You can still move.
leave. He could still leave. You never know. But Serge
I
Gnabry
think
though.
he'll stay. I do.
I was gonna say, go back to Serge Gnabry though. I never thought he was gonna be as good as what he is. Honestly.
Well, yeah, he's age 24 now.
And he's still very
He
young.
was sold by Arsenal to
Been
Werder
about
Bremen for
for
4 million.
Been about for so long as well. Like how long has he been about?
Well, technically it was 4.5 million.
Yeah, to
But
Bayern Munich.
think about that. So Arsenal didn't rate him, did they? Clearly, there was no buyback clause in that, was there?
I mean, with Arsenal, I mean, during that sort of period, it's just all the players that were hit and miss, and he was one of them. So they thought, all right, cool, selling the Bayern, see what happens there. But I'll be honest with you, he surprised me personally. I never thought that Gnabry.
I didn't think he'd be that good.
Imagine Gnabry being this good. I mean, if you say this to me about 5-6 seasons ago, I'll be like, nah,
But that's the
mate.
same with Szczesny as well. It
Isn't it?
really is.
Like that line that he said about Buffon and Alisson, right? I kept the best goalkeeper in the world on the bench, and I'm now currently benching the best goalkeeper of all time. that's a fair
Yeah, I'll give you that.
statement.
But
That's decent.
yeah, I think he's turned into a top player. He was their player of the season last year as well, wasn't he? At
He
Bayern,
was.
I think Gnabry, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all. I think a lot of it is about coaching. I think coaching has a big.
It's quite underrated, isn't it?
It's a big influence on how good a player is. Like you look at Man United, for example. Like Sanchez has gone and already got 2 goals for Inter Milan. Lukaku scoring goals there. But when they were at Man United, they were crap.
Don't forget
And
though,
Gnabry was crap at Arsenal and crap at West Brom, but he's class for Bayern.
but that's another thing as well. If you remember during the summer, the reason why Lukaku went to Inter is just to work with Mancini. He wanted to work with him. So with
Not Mancini.
yeah, with the
Conte.
Conte.
Antonio Conte.
They do look quite similar.
I don't know why I said Mancini.
In a way.
It's just that that Mancini was like Inter, wasn't he? So that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Mancini,
no.
and plus they're both Italians, But yeah, that's what it was. It's just the player management and prime
He's a good
example.
manager.
Prime example
Conte.
for me, obviously because I'm biased, Klopp.
Klopp,
See,
yeah,
I don't
brilliant,
think
yeah.
it's underrated in the form of a player wanting to go to a club. I think it's probably one of the reasons you move to a club.
And that's one of the reasons why.
But I think
that's
for a
what I was-
fan-
that's what I was touching on earlier. Klopp's developed so many players into
Yeah,
world-class
but
players.
I think for
Yeah.
a fan, I think it's underrated. I don't think it's something they necessarily think about.
You only realise it when you have the managers. I mean, for example, with you being a United supporter, it was Ferguson.
Yeah.
Look at the players that he had at disposal during the time.
I mean, we beat Arsenal a few years
Yeah.
back we had 7 defenders on the pitch.
You're telling me
Yeah.
about
It's madness.
with Moyes getting the job after Ferguson left. The difference between the two is because Ferguson knew how to manage those players, whereas Moyes you could tell he just didn't know how to deal with them.
Yeah.
So that's the difference between managers and Solskjaer as well, for example. He's a legend at United. Don't get me wrong, but his experience ain't that great.
I think that Man United side that Moyes took over there was crap, and Ferguson papered over the cracks with that title win.
It's true though, but then again though, is the manager doing a good job for the club?
Well, yeah, Ferguson is Ferguson.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But,
That's how important a manager can be.
But
for a club.
I think to be fair to Moyes, you look back at his job now, and it wasn't a great one, but it just looks like it's kind of.
Well, he
par
had
with
more
most
points. He had more
It's
points
contract
at this
and-
stage
and
of
I
the
think
season.
he had the toughest actually, because he
Oh
had
yeah,
to,
following on
because
from
Ferguson
Sir Alex
with
Ferguson,
that
yeah.
team as well. You looked at
It's
that
true.
team; it was Cleverley in midfield, Anderson,
Yeah.
aging Rio Ferdinand,
Darren Gibson.
aging Vidic, aging
Mhm.
squad as well.
Very
Contract's
I mean,
only just retired.
on
Only
paper-
just
on
run out,
paper-
isn't it?
On paper,
Oh yeah,
It's only just
technically,
run
yeah.
out.
on paper, that squad was crap. It
Still
was. It
is.
was just Ferguson, and now, well, yeah, exactly. It's a lot of good names, but those
Just-
names
Just on
aren't
that
worth crap.
topic of talking about coaching, I want to talk to you about Phil Foden, because a lot of pundits have recently come out and they reckon he should be given more game time, and if you can't get that game time, go on loan.
Man City, mate. That's what I'm saying, Man
But
City.
is it better for him to be coached under Pep Guardiola
Well,
whilst
this
on
is
the
the
bench
debate, because
alongside world-class players? and he
what is
gets
the best
nurtured?
move for him? Because like, if you're a product of, there's that saying that you're a product of your environment.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
problem is,
If he's training with De Bruyne, David Silva,
Exactly, yeah. Alongside
I
Pep
mean, what
Guardiola
is
as
that
well.
influence
Yeah,
going to
but
be like?
don't forget though, like, you know, Salah when he was at Chelsea. Look at the players there; they're all great players.
That's a point.
And he went to another club. He got game time. Now look at the player he is now. It doesn't matter about the players; just doesn't matter about game time. In my
But
opinion.
Salah weren't as young, was he?
No, exactly, yeah.
I think
How
age-
old was he? He was about like.
I mean, Foden's like 19, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a kid.
yeah, alright, but he only slightly older though. That's the thing. He
And
wasn't
gets,
that much
he gets
older.
a decent amount of game time.
He does, and he's
I
still
mean,
like. In the
he got
first team
Champions
now.
League minutes last night
Yeah,
and
yeah.
scored.
He gets regular minutes.
It's just that for me personally, like Man City, it's just like that team. Like, there's no way for young stars to sort of get down there. I mean, look, Jadon Sancho.
You look at Sancho, yeah.
Sancho's
Yeah,
a prime example. Like, you know, yeah, if he stayed at, you know, Man City, loads of great players there, but like he went to Dortmund, he got game time, he became a great player. You know, all these players, like it's City and Chelsea, in my opinion, both of those sort of teams, right? Only now, like, players are getting game time at Chelsea because of the ban, but like because of everything happened beforehand, and like, you know, all the players that came from that academy, because none of them had great game time, you know, they missed out on so many players. Look at where these players are now. Like, yeah, De Bruyne, he's like, you know, Man City. There was a great team. It was like the season when they won the Prem, you know. He's a great player. He had great players around him, but, you know, no game time. You know, why should he be at the club? That's what I think that is.
No, it's true. I mean, if Phil Foden did go, where would he go?
Liverpool.
Like, no, he wouldn't be loaned to another club in the Prem, I don't think.
Probably foreign team. Maybe I'll see
It'd
him
be
go
a German team, wouldn't it?
German or Spanish. Maybe Italian, I don't know.
Lower end Premier League side potentially.
Do you think so?
Someone like Bournemouth or Burnley or something.
I reckon he'd get Champions League minutes at a loan club.
Yeah,
I really do.
potentially.
He would.
yeah.
He would. If he goes there.
He'd be the best player in a lot of those lower end
Yeah.
Premier League sides. and
He
that
would
might do
definitely
him
be
some
there.
good.
Like at Bournemouth, he'll flourish there at Bournemouth, I can tell you that. But maybe, like, say...
It's too much of a risk for him, I think.
I can see him going to, like, AC Milan.
If
Or
he
something.
went to Bournemouth and flopped, he's basically shown he's only good when he's surrounded by world class players.
But, like, the thing is, a low move...
You see Renato Sanchez when he went to Swansea.
A low
Yeah.
move never always works because, you know, like...
But he went into that on
like,
full form.
Nabry, right?
Yeah.
Nabry, right? Great player now. Like, he was at West Brom. Look at him there. Like, you know, it doesn't always work. Just because you have like a really bad season at a loan club, you still become a decent player. Origi, right? When he was at Wolfsburg, he didn't really have that much of a good, you know, season there. But then now he's like scoring important goals for Liverpool all the time. You know,
I mean, so what would you do if you were him?
I'll go to another team.
Do you think?
Man City is not a team for him. Any youngster is like career suicide playing for Man City.
I don't know though. Guardiola really rates him. He will get his chance.
I mean,
So he's the best
is
youngster he's ever
Guardiola
trained.
Yeah.
isn't he?
is Guardiola playing it smart with him? Because you see what we've done with someone like Chong, someone like Greenwood,
Rashford.
Rashford. That's a prime
like,
example.
he's burnt
Is he
out,
getting
it
too many
seems.
minutes now?
Seems like
Rashford's
he's-
like
do you know
the
what I
new
mean?
Wayne Rooney, in my opinion. Like,
Oh,
What
that's-
Guardiola-
He's not
He's
Rooney
going, he's
level,
going
mate.
their route. He's going that route though. That's
He's
what I'm
not
saying.
Rooney level though. He's never hit that kind of peak.
But
Are
what-
you getting at the fact that he could peak and probably when he's 27 start declining way
Yeah,
too
because
early
like
because
you know,
he's played too much?
two players, right, that come to mind, English as well, right? Wayne Rooney, Mark Owen. When they were youngsters,
Too many
quality.
minutes,
They were quality though when they were
but
youngsters.
too many games.
Too
when
many
they're young.
games.
Rashford hasn't even been that kind of level of good though. Like, he's been all right.
He's touched on it.
but like
in
he's had
certain
flashes.
games.
But you look at his goal scoring record; it's not great.
But then, how can you be consistent in that United team?
no, I know, I agree. But like,
Mm.
I don't think it. Personally, I don't think he's quite hit the level that Owen and Rooney did when they were young.
No,
But
he definitely
It's
hasn't
true.
hit
At
that
the day,
quality.
Owen won the Ballon d'Or when he was a youngster. So you know, definitely
And
not hit that
Rooney
level.
almost single-handedly won England the Euros in 2004.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, he was like the best player for the 2006 World Cup.
I mean,
But
like
then the whole thing with Ronaldo happened. But anyways, like
Rashford was properly exciting when he first burst on the scene. Since then, he's had flashes, sure, and he looks like a talented player, but I don't think he's consistent enough. I don't think he scores enough goals.
it is a fair point. But then again, like United team, like it's not that consistent as it is.
It
know.
says something when we're playing him when he was injured. Ollie said he was 100%. He was still running around with a knock,
Yeah.
and he was in terrible form. And
Yeah.
he's being made
Man
to play
United-
against Arsenal.
Man United have no
How's he
strikers
gonna?
there.
We've got Greenwood though, who's sat on the
Yeah.
bench raring to go, a youngster. I mean, what's going on there?
It's just United in general. So many question marks in that club at the moment. You know, I don't know. Like
I don't even know where it's going wrong. I don't know if it's the manager
or the players.
Or
You
the
don't know.
players.
You don't know the players. It could possibly be the players. It could possibly be the manager. It could possibly be both. But it's just something.
Is it the board?
There's something going
Go
on there.
deep in
Like
that?
it's just so many.
Something's rotten at the club, isn't it?
Something there. Like I personally think like this sell every player, like mostly every single player.
What, and just start again?
rebuild the whole
I don't
thing.
think you could even do that now, though.
You
could
can't.
because
You
of
can't
financial
do it.
fair play.
It's true. You can't do it, but like that's what I reckon should happen. And with Arsenal, possibly the same thing. That if they do that, just sell all the players.
It was a worse result for them, I thought.
Yeah.
I thought they would have come to United. You think, get the game before we just about beat Rochdale. That says a lot. Arsenal should have been coming there.
Them, yeah?
Arsenal should have been coming to Old Trafford and going, easy 3 points.
It's Man United, man. That's what I mean. Like Man United should be destroying anybody.
No,
they
but
want.
I was happy. I was happy with the draw.
Like you know how we felt like for a good 5-6 years, like Liverpool.
Yeah,
man,
well, the
trust.
tables have turned massively.
Didn't it though?
I don't want to talk about that anymore. I'm getting depressed now.
Yeah.
There's some more juicy fixtures tonight, though. So Dortmund are playing Slavia Prague. I'm expecting big things from them.
Dortmund gonna
I think
win
the
that one.
standout one is Barca versus Inter.
Barca will win that.
Do you think?
It's at home, isn't it?
Yeah.
At the new camp, yeah, they'll probably win that just about.
This Inter Milan team though is exciting. I will tell you
It
that.
is. It's quite exciting.
It's a
yeah.
very exciting team. Like
It seemed like didn't they only just draw with Slavia Prague though in the Champions League? Look, a decent side, and they've beaten a lot of Italian sides quite comfortably. It'll be interesting. They've got Juve coming up, haven't they? As well, I think.
and then like
That'll be
That'll be interesting to see how truly.
and then
good
like
they've been.
Lukaku as well has been great. And then you got like Sanchez has scored like 2 goals recently. Like
Got
they
sent off though.
got sent off as well, true. But like they've all been pretty decent this team. And
No, yeah, I agree. Yeah.
it's I reckon
I like
possibly
Conte a lot.
Yeah.
as well.
Oh yeah.
Barca probably
He's a
will,
top manager.
Barca probably will win. But then again though, Inter ain't gonna like lose that easily. In my opinion, I reckon it'd be a good game to watch.
Should be a good game. Yeah, I'd imagine so. It really depends. Barcelona have been kind of off form lately as well, so they could catch them out. Inter could, but I think Inter would take a point definitely to the new camp. Yeah,
I mean, you look at Ajax versus Valencia as well.
that's a good game as well.
Yeah, they're in
Is that
Chelsea's group as well, though.
Ajax or Valencia?
Ajax versus Valencia, and it's at Valencia's ground.
Is that Valencia? Valencia to win that maybe.
I'll say it'd be a draw, like a 1-1 0-0 sort of draw.
Ajax would
It's
take
quite.
that.
We said, didn't we? Low budget group of death. Chelsea's group.
Yeah.
Who's
I
in the
think
group
I
again?
think Chelsea will go out.
On Lille in Chelsea's group as
Yeah,
well.
Lille. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
so-
got them
yeah.
tonight.
Yeah, and then Valencia and Ajax.
They're all sort of like teams that like they've recently all had some good seasons. That's why.
do you get what I mean? Like it's.
I know what you mean.
It's
Yeah.
a low budget group of death. That is.
It is because Ajax had that season last season, and then like Valencia become pretty exciting again, and then like what was the other team again? Sorry.
Lille,
Yeah, Lille as well.
Yeah.
They've had a good season all like last season. So like
but that was with Pepe, wasn't it?
with Pepe, he's gone to Arsenal. Not exactly.
Yeah,
done
just
great
touching on
so
him,
far.
he's not really.
He's not hit it that well so far.
I think he's going to find some form, but
it could be
have
like
Arsenal
it could be
got
like
that patience with him?
you know Özil though. It could be like Özil like have them like moments where like he's just absolutely amazing, then having moments where like he's just like
To be fair though, Özil did have like a couple of seasons where he was really good.
No, he did, but then he also had those sort of moments of all the seasons where
Yeah,
he
where he
just,
faded out.
just faded
And
out.
that's what Pogba's doing at United.
Yeah, but like I think with Pogba, it's just because he wants to leave. That's why he's how he is.
But he's asked for like, apparently he wants us to double his wage to stay.
Yeah, but like
I mean, any player who's asking for that
it's,
whilst a club is in crisis,
the thing
get
is
him out.
though, it's Pogba though, isn't it? Like Pogba would do
I know.
that. Pogba's one of the sort of players like Pogba, Neymar, like maybe Ronaldo could possibly Messi as well. Like those sort of players, that category. They're all obsessed more, like, that sort of stuff because they think more of themselves more than like their football
the
ability.
I wouldn't say
Yeah.
that about Ronaldo and Messi. To be fair.
No, not
Oh,
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo
no.
and Messi, no, they deserved it, but because like they've earned their sort of thing or whatever, it's like, they've got more say than the manager does, in a sense. You know where I'm coming from because of like how they are. They've sort of
I get the fact that someone like
reputation
Ronaldo
they've got
probably
as well.
has a hand in transfers. If he said to the manager, "I want this player to play with me,"
And they'll come.
they would come. I mean, that
Messi
kind of
wanted
happened with
Neymar,
Delict
didn't
as well.
Messi
Yeah.
wanted Neymar, didn't he?
Yeah,
But
so I think they have that
wouldn't-
influence in that
they
respect.
wouldn't like not perform though.
No,
if
they
they
don't.
were on, if they
no.
were on a, I'll give you that. And to be fair,
Icardi potentially.
yeah,
Icardi,
just people with bad
perhaps.
attitudes. It seems like
Yeah.
it seems anyway.
Because like that's the thing, right? Like during the summer, like, I remember like Klopp got asked about Neymar, and he was like, I don't want players like that, coming into like my team because they might ruin.
It's too much of a risk.
They'll ruin the sort of mood as well. Balotelli's
that's my point
not
earlier
one,
about Spurs
but,
with superstars. Do you really necessarily want superstars that will upset the apple cart?
Yeah, it's true. Like, do you want it? Like, it's no point. They're just gonna ruin the dressing room, and with a bad dressing room, you're not exactly gonna get great results.
Exactly. That's why you need a wage structure and all that kind of stuff to keep stuff in order, and that's why
Balancing the youth as well.
Liverpool are reaping the rewards from it, and Spurs were up until this season, and they could still come back into it a little bit this season, but that kind of mould of having a fairly low wage structure, getting in good talent that have looked good for not necessarily low teams but lower end teams, and developing them into what Liverpool have, like Robertson, Van Dijk, Mane, Salah, Firmino.
And again,
even.
it comes down to the coach, the influence of the coach.
Exactly.
I mean, like with Firmino, like, obviously that was before Klopp, but yeah, like the others, though, for definite. But like,
to spot a player who's been relegated, he had a good season, didn't he, Robertson, for Hull?
Yeah.
But it wasn't. Who could have even foreseen the fact that Robertson would be this good?
I didn't
right
think
now?
he'd be the best fullback in the world.
Klopp
but I
saw
thought
it.
he
It's
was
true.
Klopp saw it.
He's the best left back in the world, though, isn't he? You'd say.
I think right
he's
now,
up,
yeah.
I mean, I'm biased, I'll say yeah, but
I'd say he is, yeah.
Because like with
Marcelo
the thing
getting in World Team of 11.
It's stupid, isn't it?
It's just this bias, man. Like, it's just the obvious players all the time now getting in there. But anyways.
And Ramos, to be fair.
Yeah,
Well,
Ramos was always
definitely
getting there.
Ramos,
It's always if you're Real Madrid or
how
Barcelona.
how much is Perez paying
Modric as
them?
well.
Is it fixed?
What did he do to get into that team?
Did you see the Messi's Ballon d'Or win?
Yeah.
That a player came out and said that he didn't vote for Messi. Something like he didn't even vote at all.
Really?
Yeah.
And it said that he voted for him. I saw that.
Do you know which player it was?
No,
It was
some
random
random
guy.
player.
Ah,
Yeah, so
fair
it
enough.
raises the question.
I
think
personally
there's
don't agree with
probably-
that.
Is it
Messi
fixed?
win the
The
Ballon
thing
d'Or
is, we don't
season.
have enough of a say in it, do we?
Yeah, we don't. But me
It's like the
personally,
FIFA Pro, isn't that all just journalists' opinion?
Yeah, I think
So we don't get that
The-
say,
the-
do we?
That is an interesting debate, though. Did Messi deserve to win it?
I say not this season. No, not this season.
But is he not the best player in the world?
Not at the moment.
If you're looking at it last season, in fact,
But
when
now that I had a better
Modric
season.
won it, I didn't think that was deserved.
No.
I really didn't.
On a trophy basis, and
But that's the thing, though.
you
He's not the best player in the world, though. Whether he took Croatia to a semi-final or anything.
This is where the line's being blurred.
Yeah.
You see, I mean, like this. If Messi's winning it this year, then why didn't he win it last year as well? Because he was probably the best player in the world last season as well. But
I think it's
Modric was
harder
the
though now.
Modric was the standout player in the team that won the Champions League and also took his country to a World Cup final.
Well, there's 2 points
but
to that
he wasn't
because
the best player in the world.
number one, I think it's harder for Ronaldo and Messi to win a Ballon d'Or now, just because
They're getting
whoever
older.
wins that next Ballon d'Or, that could be finalised as the best player in the history of the game.
But
Yeah.
they're
They have
also,
to be 100% sure. Yeah, Messi was clearly the best player in the world this year. Give it to him.
It's like they're both also over 30 now. They're not. They're still up there.
We're
don't get me
starting
wrong,
to see
but-
them slightly decline.
I think
and
they're
it's
still the
depressing.
two best players in the world.
They are, hands down.
I think they're
yeah.
still
But
definitely the two best
Yeah,
players.
You know
that's
that you're
confirmed,
saying
yeah.
it with Modric though. Like the third player in the Ballon d'Or is Van Dijk. Like Van Dijk, he came to Liverpool, just single-handedly sorted out the defence, got him into like 2 finals. Right.
Well, this is where this comes in, though.
But
One
that's the
like
thing,
one of
this
them
is
as
the
well.
thing,
This
though.
is where
Are
this
you-
comes in.
are you-
Why do you win the Ballon d'Or? It's based on
It seems to be based on
it's
who
based on
wins
what
the
you
Champions
win
League.
and where you took your club.
But
And
then
it's wrong because
I know
it
exactly.
shouldn't work
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, but at the same time though, like Van Dijk won the Champions League. The other two didn't win it.
Yeah, but
So-
why is it based on what you've
I
won?
know, yeah.
Because it's not just about what you won. It's just like how you contribute to the team as well. In my opinion,
But the Ballon d'Or is like the most prestigious award. It,
it
should
is
be
prestigious,
the
but
best player in the world.
yeah,
but it's
Messi's
true,
the
though.
best player in the world.
Whether your team got relegated and you had a standout season, you were amazing, you got the most goals, the most assists.
No, it's
Do you
true.
know what I mean?
It's
It
true
should
what you
go
mean.
on that.
It's true what you mean. But then again, like when it comes to effort and stuff, right? Ronaldo does a lot for the team, and he scores a lot for him as well. Messi's the same thing as well. But Van Dijk as well.
I
also
think
does
Van
the same.
Dijk secured it this year.
Van Dijk should, in my opinion,
He's not
should have
gonna
won a
win. I
Ballon
don't
d'Or.
think he'll win it though. Now, was Messi won the best? So
You
Yeah,
think?
probably
if Messi
not.
wins the best, he'll probably win the Ballon d'Or.
I mean, Van Dijk won the other one.
it's
the
hard to
Players Award,
argue
whatever it
against.
was.
It's hard to argue against Messi winning that though. But I mean, like Van Dijk deserved to win the UEFA one, was he was the
But
best
now
player in
I
the Champions
think
League.
Van Dijk has got more of a say this year. I think Messi should have won it last year, and I think
Yeah.
Van Dijk should win it this year. But the fact that Messi missed out
But I think
against
if-
Modric last year,
the thing is, Modric deserved to win the Ballon d'Or more than Van Dijk did.
But that's based on the new Ballon d'Or, what you've won.
I know, but you could argue the exact same with Van Dijk.
That it would be a majority
It'd be
of that.
the exact
yeah,
same
it
thing.
would be
Van
that.
Dijk was
If
the best.
Van Dijk wins
Van
it, it's because of
Dijk was
that.
the best player in the team that won the top trophy, just like Modric was.
But you can't argue as well. He has been the best centre back in the world.
He has. He's
Exactly,
been fantastic.
He has.
And
Yes.
is it about time a
But-
centre back won it?
But
Oh,
is
it
it?
would've
But
been
is
great
it?
if he
Has,
won it,
has he
that's
been?
what I'm
Is he
saying.
better than Messi?
No,
not.
obviously.
It's hard to compare, isn't it? 'Cause
It's true.
different
Is he better
positions.
than Messi? Like different
Is Van
positions.
Dijk the Messi of centre back?
At the day,
Well, yeah,
at the end of the day, though, Messi's Messi, Ronaldo's Ronaldo. Well, both of those two have won, and what they've accomplished, like past and present, is absolutely amazing. Obviously, Van Dijk only now is starting to hit that sort of level, best player in the world. You know, or in that sort of caliber. So, like,
Can a
you know,
centre back ever be the best player in the world?
Well, that's a different question, isn't it? Kind of are.
How do we?
Yeah.
There's this. Unfortunately, there's a massive gap between
It's really
attack and defence. How are we hitting that balance? Because traditionally, like centre back and goalkeeper, really getting, even full back as well, they're really getting overlooked.
like Alisson was in a short
There's
list
too
for that
much
as
of
well,
a
but
gap now. How do you close that
because
gap?
the attackers steal the headlines because ultimately
They scored the
Or-
goals.
Yeah.
they
basically.
ultimately
And it's
score the
hard to
goals and win the
argue with that,
games,
isn't
and
it?
casual fans and casual media will pick up on that.
Because you,
That's what it is.
It's like, who would you rather prefer watching though? Like the player that's scoring all the goals, or the player like making sure no goals go in? You know.
yeah, that's the
I've-
point.
It's like when you see, I've seen like, you know, Messi and Ronaldo play live, right? Both of them, right? Ronaldo live is amazing to watch. You know, seeing like a player like Ramos play live is just, you know, he's defending, but like, who cares? You know,
It's
you
still-
know
it's
what I
still
mean?
It
great
depends
to
on the
watch.
position you play
It's
as well.
great to watch, but like, you know, you rather see the player like, you know, going down the wing, like doing all the skills he does. You know, amazing.
It all depends. It's all relative to perspective, isn't it?
Yeah,
if
it's
you,
all
if
about
you
perspective.
talk to a passionate defender who plays for a Sunday
yeah, no,
league
you're
team,
right, yeah.
and he
Uh-huh.
goes, "Oh yeah, I like seeing goals, but oh, did you see that tackle Van Dijk made? Last ditch tackle."
I
It's
love
true,
tackling.
it's
and
true.
it's like it's all
I love
relative to
defending.
perspective.
I think defending's
Defending's an art.
a
No, it's
fantastic art
important.
form. Yeah, yeah.
Both is important as each other, because don't forget, without a defence, like, you know, there'd be so many goals in. I mean, you know, look at United
Arsenal.
or Arsenal. Yeah, exactly. Look at Arsenal,
Yeah.
United. Like, in the day without defence, don't get battered. You know, but
Arsenal
yeah,
haven't got a defence, have they?
I don't know. Do they even exist? Defence.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know if it exists anymore.
But yeah, it is certainly. It really depends on what you think deserves to win the Ballon d'Or.
It's
Is
all
it-
perspective, isn't
is
it?
it the
Mm.
is it the best player who you think's the best player in the world? Who, let's face it, it has been Messi this year, or is it Van Dijk who's been the best player in the team that's won the top trophy and he's been the most influential?
And then you look; it's relative to league as well.
It's certainly yeah.
Because
definitely,
Mbappe
yeah.
was kind of in a run-in when Modric won it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Was he overlooked because of his league? Because he had a phenomenal season and had a really good World Cup
And
as well.
Mbappe's still doing alright as well.
And if you're going on what he won the World Cup.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and he was
So-
the best player in that team.
It's true. It's true. I mean, he's now outshining Neymar as well, PSG. So, you know, he's definitely up there as one of the best players in the world too. So,
I
you know.
mean, where'd you draw the line?
Who's it's that's the thing though. It's like another question. Like, who's next now after Messi, Ronaldo,
Mbappe.
Mbappe?
It's got to be, hasn't it? I think Neymar was hoping to
it
step
was
up,
gonna
but
be Neymar. Everyone says prime like Neymar, but now, like, you know, Mbappe's better.
no
than
one saw Mbappe being this good at this age.
Nobody. But then it's the same thing though. Is he gonna like?
João Felix as well, potentially.
But he's
In
only
the
had
next
about
couple
like.
of years, he's one to watch out for.
Yeah.
He's one to
couple of
watch out
years.
for, but he's
And
only
he's
had
in a
about
league where he could win
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
only
yeah.
2 seasons so far though. That's it. Maybe. Well,
Yeah,
He
but
was
he'll
more of a
develop.
gamble,
Isn't it-
definitely,
he's
especially
he's
for
in
that
the
price
development.
tag. But we've already seen it. Yeah, he's
But like, it's
showing
true.
signs.
It's true though, again with Mbappe, like how young he is. But the thing is, like, can he keep it up for as long as he can?
And when does he need to switch leagues as well? Because that's a big part.
When does he need to switch leagues? And the thing is like, it's going to be, Barcelona, Real Madrid. It's not going to be anywhere else. He's not going to go to like a
I mean,
United.
City though, I think
That's a shout.
they're
But
almost like a new Barcelona, aren't they?
the
With
thing is with
Pep?
Man City is that at the point, like, they don't need anybody and they just buy for the sake of buying, just because they want the
I
big
mean,
name players.
Who would you drop? You'd have to drop Aguero, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
fit
but then
him in.
that's the
He's
thing
aging though,
though.
isn't he?
He's aging, true.
Could
But
play
then again
Mbappe
though,
as a striker.
Gabriel Jesus, he's like, similar sort of age, if not slightly older.
And then you argue, does that disrupt the balance of City? And
does it disrupt it all? And do they need Mbappe? I mean, yeah, obviously no one would like to disagree having Mbappe in the team, but like, do we really need him? They've got already about like 2-3 strikers as it is. They've got to sell one of them, and all of them are decent.
They need a centre half more.
Yeah, it's true. Centre half more probably.
I mean, just going back to this Ballon d'Or talk, the shortlist is out soon, isn't it? Is it this month?
I think so. Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I thought there was a shortlist already out. Like,
There's always rumoured ones, but the official.
It was the best,
Yeah.
wasn't it? The best FIFA player,
Yeah.
which is technically, that's according to
You
FIFA.
would think if
That's
you win
according to
that,
FIFA,
then you've
player
got
of
the
year.
Ballon d'Or sorted.
Yeah.
And if Messi does win it this year, then I think that's confirmed, isn't it?
Yeah,
mhm.
I think Messi will probably win it now. I think it is tight between him and Van Dijk, and I definitely get the arguments for Van Dijk, but it is an individual player, and I refuse to believe that Van Dijk is a better player than Messi.
But
because
when
that's
do we get to the
technically
point
what you're
where
voting.
defenders are? Should there be a Ballon d'Or for each position, or does that completely
Well,
just defeat the object of the
I
award?
think a defender will win it when Messi and Ronaldo aren't around.
It's just.
It's
like you
true.
think about it, 2006.
I don't know
was-
if they will, because if Mbappe, by the time they've retired, steps up even more,
but
he's got that Ballon d'Or sorted.
But he might have a few years where he doesn't have the best year.
He could, yeah.
Like,
And then you look at Sterling as well. You can't rule him out. You really can't.
Maybe not.
You
no.
can't rule him out, but like, is he on
Think
that level?
about it. How old is he now? 24.
I think Sterling's brilliant.
He's
Gnabry. You don't even know if he's just
Yeah,
done that
Gnabry's
against
getting-
Tottenham in the Champions League.
But the thing is, though, is Sterling like on the same level? I mean, yeah, maybe he might be, but is he better than like players like Salah and Mane?
He got potential to be.
Maybe he's got potential, but is he on
I
that
think
level?
he's a
though?
more well-rounded player than both Salah and Mane.
How would you say though?
I think he offers more. I think he beats a man better than Salah does, and I think he's more involved in games than Salah. I think Salah, a lot of the time, recently seems to just score goals.
I get what you're saying with that.
I mean,
I
really
think
do.
if Salah can really work on his consistency,
I mean, like,
especially this
I think
season,
Sterling, actually, his finishing lets him down. He'd have so many more goals if he would finish better.
and it's
He misses a
already
lot of
drastically
chances.
improved as well under Pep.
To be fair, Salah's a much better finisher, but like I think Sterling's a better dribbler. I think.
But
he's
then when does
faster.
Mane get involved in this?
but Mane
conversation?
as well though. He can dribble. He's got skill in him as well.
He's more
He's
physical.
Fast as well. He's fast.
Mane's brilliant,
And he can
yeah,
finish.
Like he can win headers. He's
He can do
quite
anything,
tall,
and
isn't he?
Salah can also like do a bit of headers now and again, and he can still kind of
and
be the
for
same.
some reason Sterling's scoring headers recently, isn't
Yeah.
Yeah, Sterling's also doing the same, but he's an ex-Liverpool player. But do you reckon he would get in the starting lineup if he comes to Liverpool now?
Depends. It's different.
It's
I
a
mean,
different
it's
sort of.
different
It's
he? I don't
system.
think he would have. We've touched on this, but I don't think he would have been the same player if he'd stayed at Liverpool.
Yeah,
He was
because
still
he's
even
been,
under
he's
Klopp.
been coached under Guardiola. It's different. It's like a different system.
It is. It's a totally
Like,
different system.
Okay, I'll give you this.
It's true.
Salah and Mane don't get into City's team, but Sterling probably doesn't get into Liverpool's team because it's just different.
Yeah, I'll get
It's the
what you
same
mean.
as well. Would Coutinho get back in the Liverpool team?
The thing, I mean, yeah, maybe there's a shout, but he could potentially Klopp will find a way to work with him. I mean, with like Sterling's the same thing. Out in the day, right, Klopp loves like young players. A player like Sterling, like to mould him into sort of like his style of play, which don't get me wrong, Sterling could possibly do that.
If they'd have kept Sterling, just wanted to sign Mane.
Yeah, if Sterling stayed for definite, like a player like Mane or Salah, one of them probably would not be signed.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
that's what would have happened.
But then, if the same time as well, like for the last season that Sterling was at Liverpool, he was primed as like the next, like the star player of the team, and like he left to Man City. So if he stayed at Liverpool, he probably would be the star player. If not, he'd definitely be up there. That's my personal opinion. But anyways, he went to Man City. Everyone hates him, so oh well.
I think that's a good way to end it. I really
Yeah.
do.
Sterling's top class.
He's a
brilliant.
good player, but he broke all our hearts. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think you've got that personal
I've
kind of
I've
vendetta
still got
against
little
him.
vendetta against him. I mean, that's the thing. But the fact that he was a great player is the thing.
Can
that
you
hurts me.
appreciate how talented he is right now, though?
He's always
so
been
well.
talented, though. He's always been
No,
talented.
but he's
getting-
drastically
I
improved.
think
Yeah,
he's-
he
I
has.
think he's going on to that next
He's
level.
He
he's gone
is.
from Jordan Ibe, just about Jordan Ibe level to
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I
He's
understand
serious.
that.
He's serious.
I understand
I
that.
think he's world class.
he
He is.
and that's why I really do think that he's a strong contender for the Ballon d'Or in
Future
the next
years,
5 years.
potentially. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
maybe.
say if he's like the top goal scorer in that City team when they win the Champions
Yeah.
League.
But
Does that change if Pep leaves
if you
in
want
the
to talk
next
about
few years?
if you want to talk about English players, though, like Harry Kane possibly still.
No.
Do you reckon no?
No,
Because
I don't think he's a Ballon
he's still
d'Or.
the
No, I
star
don't-
player for Spurs.
No.
Do you know what?
Like-
He has moments and seasons where he's phenomenal. He's very consistent.
Uh-huh.
He's a classic number 9, isn't he? I
He
mean, like,
just-
those type of
He's-
players
yeah,
don't
he's a
win Ballon
poacher,
d'Ors.
yeah.
Like Shearer
Mm.
never
I think
won
you have to
Ballon
do a
d'Ors.
bit of magic to win a Ballon d'Or. I
Yeah.
think you got to prove your worth in
Kane's
every single aspect.
Kane's very good at his job, but like I don't think that kind of job is a Ballon d'Or winning player like Shearer.
But
Shearer was
but then
never.
you flip it
Shearer
on.
was never really a Ballon d'Or worthy player, like anywhere near close to winning the Ballon d'Or.
You flip it round though, and you think, well,
and Kane's not as good as Shearer.
surely the best player in the world is the most influential. Now, if you put Kane into, well, he's a goal scorer, so he's influential. If you put him into any team, he'll
he's
score
still
goals.
up there as one of the best strikers in the world, regardless.
So why
you
shouldn't
know?
Kane have a shout?
That's what I mean. He definitely might.
But
be
I
in the
get
shortlist,
your
but-
point of he's a poacher who doesn't score nice goals.
I could see that.
It's
but
true,
like,
but he scores a lot though. That's the thing.
He scores a
on
lot,
his
and he's
day-
very influential.
on
So
his day, he's
what is
amazing.
the Ballon d'Or based on?
I mean, my
Subjective
personal opinion is
It
right,
is, yeah.
is like not only the best player of the squad, but the most like influential and the most that can possibly.
it's ultimately the most
contribute as well.
influential for the team that wins the biggest prize that year. That's ultimately what it is.
So let's say Tottenham won the Champions League last year.
Yeah.
Do you think Kane would be
It'd
a
be either
contender?
Ka-
And say he finished top scorer in the Champions League.
What, last season? And he
Yeah.
was amazing. And Spurs maybe won the Prem as well.
Maybe not even won the Prem. Maybe
Just
finished
the Champions
second.
League, and he dragged Spurs to winning the Champions League. He'd be up there, yeah.
Do you
It'd be-
think?
if
Do you
that-
think we'd be sat here right now saying Kane's up there
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
for definite.
instead of Van
that's
Dijk?
very hypothetical, but yeah.
Instead of Van Dijk,
It's possible.
because Van Dijk maybe wouldn't have got a mention because Liverpool didn't win the Champions League.
It's possible, but Van
Yeah.
Dijk, regardless of how it happened, like he would still be.
I don't know if he'd be in the talk though,
He'd be. You reckon he would
because
be
we
in the
just
talk?
said like it's based on what you've done with your team and what they've won. So if
Yeah.
Tottenham won the Champions League last year
But
and Kane was a standout player, he scored the winning goal,
don't forget though, it's not just club football. It's
top
international.
scorer.
He
International
didn't
as
have
well.
a very good season though last season, did he, Kane?
No.
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't that great. But like it's not just like the club level; it's the international level. Like but for what Van Dijk's been doing for the Netherlands recently, and look at the team that.
But Kane
Netherlands
does it for
becoming.
England.
Yeah, it's true.
Most
he
of them are
does.
penalties.
It's true. It's true. Like it's that as well. For like Ronaldo in Portugal, he does it for Portugal. With Messi with Argentina, doesn't really do that well. What he does on club level, So like it's a little bit of like everything all together. Like how good
Oh
you
yeah,
are.
it's a complete mixture
Just
of everything.
basically
yeah.
everything. It's not just how much of a good player you are.
It's a
just-
little bit unfair for defensive players, I think.
It is because defense is just supporting as offense, but like
I just think they've been like defenders have been unlucky that Messi and Ronaldo are in this era. Like the last time,
it's true.
the last player to win a Ballon d'Or before Modric last year that wasn't Messi or Ronaldo was Kaká, and before that it was Cannavaro. You look historically, like if you look through the list of Ballon d'Or players, and there's not many defenders on there. I mean, a goalkeeper's
Exactly.
never won it.
That's why
That's
I think
true.
even when Ronaldo and Messi retire, it's still going to be attackers.
I mean, it used to
I
be-
think we're
it
blessed
used to
with a
be-
generation of good
It used
attackers.
to be largely midfielders, like Zidane used to win it a lot. Platini used to
Yeah.
win it quite a lot. And then strikers as well, obviously, used to always win it. So
Yeah, like
Fat
Ronaldo,
Ronaldo,
Ronaldinho.
Brazilian Ronaldo used to
Yeah,
win it quite
Brazilian
a lot.
Ronaldo.
Fat Ronaldo.
That's what his
It's a
name
shame
I
that's
know.
his name. Because I mean, like, if it wasn't for his knee injuries, then bloody hell, he could have been the best player ever.
He would have been amazing, man.
Yeah, like he
Oh,
was amazing, but imagine how much better he would have been if he didn't have the knee injury.
It's true. It's true.
Oh,
I mean,
he could have been the best player ever.
that's
he
the
was
thing,
so
though.
good.
Looking back, like about 10, 20 years ago, whatever it was, like players like Ronaldinho, like when you watched him, like as a kid.
Ronaldinho would win the Ballon d'Or as well.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like Ronaldinho, like back in the day, like to see this guy play was absolutely
So
amazing.
it goes on also who's the most exciting to watch.
True, yeah.
And attacking players are
I was up there. Was
across
more,
the board. They're the most exciting to watch
They're
because
more
they
exciting to watch in
change the game
defence.
more.
Yeah. I mean, defense. Don't get me wrong. Like defense was great as well, but like it's just attacking. You got the skill, you got the flair, you got the goal scoring, you got the assisting. But with it being defender, it's just the heading and the tackling. Really, like, would you say
It's not even. It's more though nowadays because obviously they get told to play out from the back.
Yeah,
There's a lot more to defending now.
A defender's job
There's more
in terms
skill
of
now
on
than before.
ball work is developing, and that's why players like Van Dijk are being seen more as a Ballon d'Or contenders worthy defender player.
Yeah, because with like Van Dijk as well.
And Cannavaro is just a special incident.
The
because,
the role
yeah,
of the defensive duties have completely changed.
Because like with
You
Van
look at a goalkeeper as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like with like players like Van Dijk, right? Like not only he is defender, like he can score a free kick if he wants to, right? He can also like have a bit of skill on his ball as well. With like Alisson as well as a goalkeeper, he's also got a bit of skill on him. He's not just like a straightforward goalkeeper. There's more to just being a goalkeeper than what he does. You know what I mean? With Van Dijk's the same thing. There's more. He
Do you
does
think
more than
the
just
role
being
of
a
an
defender.
attacker has evolved, or do you think it stayed the same?
Yes and no, I'll say.
Very complicated question.
It's a yes and no sort
Deep,
of answer.
isn't
It's a very deep conversation.
Because like it's more like, you know, nowadays like football, because like you've seen like the players in the past, like, you know, how they used to be very, you know, skillful in that. There's more that now, in my opinion, like more skill and stuff on like the wings, for example. There's more like,
I think it's more athleticism and physicality.
Yeah, basically like athleticism is what I mean by, like, you know, you can see like the bicycle kicks all the time, like, you know, the sort of like how they finish as well, you know, how they can assist each other. Like you see like Mane with, like, you know, the I can't remember the name of it, like Ronaldo chop, basically thinks something like that to score or something like that. Firmino does like the no look sort of finish, like, you know, it's more.
See, what I was getting at with that is we've got evidence that the defensive roles have changed from fullbacks and goalkeepers.
Yeah.
Just because of the technical ability they need to have on the ball now to push it out from the back.
If you're saying
and start attacks.
If you're saying fullback, for definite, yes, it has changed, because, you know, Roberto
that
Carlos,
goes for centre backs as well, though.
Yeah, but more fullbacks, in my opinion, because fullbacks are now being used more or less like a secondary winger. You know,
and then you look at other tactics as well. You're looking at
wing backs now, aren't they,
look at
mostly?
Sheffield
Wing backs,
United.
box to box.
Who would have thought that Sheffield United and Chris Wilder would have revolutionised football with overlapping centre backs? And it's working.
It's true.
Like, he's playing three at the back, and those two wide centre backs push up, and it's madness.
The thing is, like, Sheffield United and revolutionised football. It's just a very weird.
I know
sentence.
it is.
I'm not gonna lie, it is, but it's
But
true.
they've really got onto something there.
They are doing
centre-backs.
alright. Like Sheffield United, like, they're great. I mean, I remember,
you shouldn't have won. We're not going to get into this now, but you shouldn't have won that.
I don't care, man. A win's a win.
Yeah,
I don't care.
You might look back at that result and think that's the one that won us.
That could have been the one that won the league. Yeah,
you have to
know,
grind
I know.
out games
That's
like
the kind
that.
of luck you need as well. With
Yeah,
the error as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Like, they gave like Liverpool game, man.
If you'd have fired that same like half volley to Henderson 10 times, he'd save 9 out of them. It was that one.
Yeah, it's just that one.
It was that one
little thing.
Lucky, yeah. And it was lucky.
If you look, he was actually trying to start an attack. He was looking where he was going to
Yeah.
start the attack and got it completely wrong.
Now they look like a good team, Sheffield United. I mean, like, they remind me a lot of Burnley when we first came up. Really remind
In a similar position
Yeah,
in the table at the moment.
Exactly, yeah.
I think they're above United.
I don't want like Sheffield United to get relegated. I want them to stay.
No,
there,
that I really enjoy watching them.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Like,
And this is where
I
this
like
comes
Northern
into it.
clubs like that as well.
Why do I love watching them? Their defence.
Yeah.
And that goes for their attackers as well. The work rate of each of those players
This is the thing,
phenomenal.
though. A lot of people would say they hate watching clubs like Sheffield United and Burnley, but some don't.
You look at that Liverpool game. I've never seen Liverpool get dispossessed that many times. Not
that's
recently.
the thing with a
Was
team
they
like
press them?
That press, exactly.
With a team like Liverpool,
Burnley
like,
press a lot as well.
they're very, very direct in how they play. And like, you know, for like a team like Sheffield United to sort of show up a little bit, you know, it's
But
fair
it's
play.
not even just defence. Like,
It's
even when they
attacking as
attack, they
well.
completely push back, absorb, push up, bang.
Exactly,
hit
and
you on the
it's like
break.
what you're saying, like the overlapping sort of like, you know, fullbacks is like, in a way, they're sort of playing against themselves.
And that's the role of a defender now. You've got to be good on the ball.
because they'll
You have
fast.
to be. There's none of this now. Just smash it long.
Or you can have one player that's
Unless
a
you're in
ball player.
Stoke, an old Stoke
one
team.
defender that's a ball playing centre half and another that isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, like with like Sheffield though, like they're just like, you know, precise on how they were playing, like both defending,
Passing in fast
Yeah.
triangles.
like
It's
defending
lovely.
and like, you know, attacking. They were just precise, and like a team like Liverpool also are kind of precise and they're direct, but like both, it was actually pretty decent to watch.
Really good football, yeah.
It was alright. I'm not gonna lie.
And they hardly had any possession.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, it was so good to
They
watch.
work, they work so well off the ball.
They
It's
do.
the same
That's
it's
the
the
exact.
same with Burnley as
Yeah.
well. We play very similar football.
Mm.
That kind of do well off the ball and press them and put them into difficult positions, make them have shots from range as well, get blocks in the way, get bodies in the way. Like I said, people say it's hoofball and stuff, but smart football. Play to your strengths.
Exactly.
And with that, we are going to end it there. We have been going like for an hour now. If you want to have your say, email us on talkballpodcast@gmail.com. And you can also find us on all social media platforms under the username @talkballuk. And don't forget to subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on. But we'll see you in the next one. Ahmed, thank you for coming on. You're going to be on again.
Oh,
Definitely.
Sound. Thank you.
It's been a good podcast. But yeah, see you later. I think that was the best podcast in terms of how deep we got. I wrote all topics on there. We covered like one. And I love that when that happens.